welcome back to Shutterbug Club. I'm your host, Sue. Today, we are diving into something that completely changed my business, my income, and the way that I serve my clients, and that is in-person sales. Okay, wait a second. Before you leave this episode, if you're like, ew, gross, stop, that's not for me, I hate that, I could never do that, wait just a minute, because I promise you, that was me just 7 months ago. I never in a million years would have thought that I would be doing in-person sales, and not only that, would I love it and would I recommend it to everybody. I honestly did not see the value in artwork, in having prints in your home just 7 months ago. It did not have any appeal to me. I was truly happy with just the digital files, with just posting my photos on social media. And that's why learning about in-person sales completely changed my business. And I'm a little embarrassed to say that I actually didn't really know what in-person sales were. Like, I didn't really know anything about the process, why people liked it. And so that's why I'm making this episode today, is to really just break it down and explain to you what in-person sales are. By the end of this episode, you're going to know what the difference is between in-person sales, also known as IPS. So you'll hear me refer to it as IPS, but you'll know the difference of that versus shoot and burn styles. So those are like the two main business models or pricing models, whatever, for photography you can have. And we're going to talk about the difference between the two of them. We're going to talk about how in-person sales works and which model might be right for you and your business. So let's just do a quick comparison. Shoot and burn is basically when the photographer only delivers the digital photos. And so the photographer will show up to the photo shoot for a certain amount of time, take the pictures, and then they will just send over a gallery with the amount of photos that they're giving to the client. And that's the end of it. And it's called shoot and burn because it's actually where the photographer would burn the images into a USB or DVD or CD drive. You don't hear it called that as often anymore because a lot of the times photographers will just upload the photos to the cloud or whatever their gallery delivery system is and send the clients a link. But yeah, it's basically just shooting and delivering the photos and you're done. In-person sales is the practice of a salesperson meeting a potential client to sell a product or service. Nobody wants to be a salesperson. So I think that's also partly what kept me away from in-person sales for so long. But basically, how in-person sales works for a photographer is the photographer will charge a retainer fee, which does not include any digital photos in that fee. So this fee just simply covers the photo shoot, not the images. And then after the photo shoot, the photographer will have an ordering appointment, and this is where they will get together in person with the client. They'll walk the client through all of their photos and tell them about their product options and help their clients create artwork for their home and walk away with physical products from the photo shoot. It doesn't always have to be in person because I actually do mine over Zoom. I've never had an in-person ordering appointment. They're all over Zoom, but it's still like called in-person sales when you do it that way. But it's basically a lot more work for the photographer, but it leads to much higher sales. And the photographer really just has so much potential to earn more income. A lot of fears that surround in-person sales is the fear of not knowing how to explain to people, to your clients, why it's so important to have something tangible in their hands instead of just the digital photos, especially in such a digital world where people just want to share their photos on social media. They don't really think about any other value they could bring them. And don't get me wrong, that was me. I love social media so much. Like, I started photography because I loved posting on Instagram. I'm like, what more is there? I just want to post my photos on Instagram. So a lot of people actually don't know the value of holding your photos in your hand, a tangible product in your hand. And so a lot of photographers also think that my clients only want the digitals. They don't really care about the printed artwork. And see, this is exactly where I was. But the truth is, your clients don't know what they want. They haven't been educated into learning the value of these products, which is where I was, because I didn't see the value, and that's just because I didn't know the value. So if you think your clients only want the digital files, it could be just because they don't know, they haven't been educated on why they want more, why they might want more than that. Okay, the second fear is that it feels salesy, and that's a huge one because it's called in-person sales, and nobody wants to feel like a salesperson. Nobody wants to feel like they're being pushy, but it really does not have to be like that. It's only salesy if you're like scamming somebody, if you don't actually believe in the value you're offering. But once I actually ordered some of these products and felt them, and I got to unbox them myself and feel that excitement and joy, I really learned the value and seen the importance, and 100% believe in what I'm offering to my clients and the value and the price that I'm offering it at. I no longer feel salesy. I really just feel like I'm offering the best possible experience for my clients. So let's go over shoot and burn versus in-person sales and compare them. Okay, so for shoot and burn, this is you take photos, you deliver the photos, and then peace out. You're done. That's the end of your journey together. IPS, you take the photos and you guide your clients through choosing products. So it's a two-step process. Shoot and burn is fast, it's simple, but there's low profit. Whereas IPS is slower, more intentional, but way higher profit. With shoot and burn, your clients get a link that they'll probably forget about, or they'll download the photos and then they'll just get lost in their camera roll after they post them to social media, and they're really not getting the full experience they could be getting out of their photos. With in-person sales, your clients walk away with heirlooms that they'll get to keep forever. So they'll see these photos every day if they're hanging up in their home. They'll get to experience the feelings of seeing these photos every day, not just when they open their camera roll or when they go back to the post on social media. So you're really improving the value of what you're delivering. With shoot and burn, you get paid once. Like I mentioned earlier, it's like a one-time fee that covers the photo shoot and the photos. But with in-person sales, you get multiple payments, one from the session and then the other from whatever artwork they purchase and photos. Shoot and burn feels easy, but it can often lead to burnout because it is so simple and fast. You have to take on a lot of photo shoots in order to make enough money to sustain yourself. But with IPS, it feels extra at first because there is a lot on the back end you have to do to prepare your clients for the sale, but it turns into a sustainable process with a higher value. So shoot and burn is basically quick, convenient, and forgettable, where IPS is a whole experience and people pay for the experience. So with IPS, you will actually attract higher paying clients who value your photography. Imagine that. Have you ever had a client that is just so difficult to work with because you know they only came to you because they need photos? They don't actually care all of the work that you put into creating the photos. Like, they didn't come to you because they love your style. They came to you simply because they are price searching and they need some photos. Imagine attracting high value clients who came to you because of you and your process. Look, in-person sales is not for everyone, and it depends on what your goals are for your business and also like where you're at in your business. If you want to make more money and provide an entire experience for your clients, I would highly recommend giving in-person sales a try. But if maybe you're just starting your photography journey and you're still getting the hang of your camera and the whole photo shoot process, I would actually recommend starting with shoot and burn if you're not confident in your photos yet, because you want to know your camera. That way you know your prints are going to be high quality. So it really does depend what stage you're at in your business for which model you should try. But this is just me saying don't completely roll out IPS. Okay, and I actually want to share with you the story about the first time I made a $3,000 sale from a senior session, because it was honestly one of the biggest moments in my business where I'm like, this is it. Everything is changing. Okay, so let me remind you, I'm still very new to in-person sales. I started this year. So at this point, I had only had like 3 ordering appointments. And remember, I do my ordering appointments over Zoom. And we hop on this appointment after the session so they can pick out their photos and their artwork. My calls before this did not go so great. I was awkward. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to represent the value of what it was that I was offering, and I definitely was not confident yet. So going into this call, I had super low expectations. Really, my only goal was to just not fumble my words, to just get through it as smoothly as I could. Before I had this call, I had received some artwork in the mail from previous clients that I actually got to open and unbox myself, and I got to feel that excitement for myself and really see the value in it for myself. So I knew I was offering something good. I just had to trust the process. But not only that, I've invested in a business coach, and she has given me her proven business model for in-person sales. So deep down, I knew it had to work because it's been proven. And I knew if I just stuck with it, even though I was struggling after those first few ordering appointments, and I was actually thinking like maybe this isn't for me, I should back out, even though I'd paid thousands of dollars for this coach and for this program. I was even still hesitant, but I told myself just stick with it, just trust the process. So I get on the call and I show them the photos. We're going through the photos together and they're kind of quiet. And I realize it's with a senior and her mom. I should probably specify that. But I realize as we're looking at the photos, the mom is trying not to cry because she loves them so much. And it's such a special moment for her, sitting there with her daughter, really just soaking in the realization that this is her daughter's senior photos. This is kind of like the last year she has with her daughter before she goes off to college. It's truly a special moment, especially between a senior and their parent. And so that's when it really hit me that this isn't just senior photos. This actually means something to people. I mean, yes, I knew that, but it hit me on such a deeper level where you really realize the impact you're having on somebody. So they picked out their photos and their artwork, and I sent them the $3,000 invoice. And you know what they did after that? They thanked me. They did not question the price. They did not ask for a discount. They were so grateful. They valued everything I did, and they were so thankful, and they said thank you when I sent them the invoice. And I got off that call and I really just sat there and let it sink in, like the possibility that this could be my life and my business. I don't have to be tired and burnt out and struggling to find people who actually value what I have to offer and the hard work. So, of course, after that, I run and I tell my husband, and I also called my friend to tell her, and I called my parents, and I told everyone, which was a little extra satisfying because I had certain people in my life who told me that what I was doing was never going to work. I constantly heard stuff like, no one around here is going to pay that much, or we live in a small town, people don't have money like that, or your coach can charge that much because she lives in California. That doesn't work here. So I'm not going to name names because I know all of my friends and family really want to support me, but they just couldn't see the vision. They didn't see any possible way where this would work because we're in a small town and a lot of the people around us that we know at least don't have a lot of money. So when I got off that call, it was seriously a life-changing moment for me. And all I have to say is that I'm just so glad that I didn't listen to those people telling me that it wouldn't work, because that sale wasn't just money. It was proof that there are people out there who are willing to value what you do, and it completely shifted the way I see my business and myself. And that was the moment I realized everything was about to change. But don't get me wrong, I'm still learning, I'm still figuring this out. I have so far to go and so much to learn, but I have some really exciting news for you, because next week, I'm actually bringing an expert on the podcast to talk about this subject. I'm so excited to talk with him. He has made $15,000 sales from selling artwork and doing in-person sales, and he's going to share with us some of his biggest tips and tricks. So if you're somebody who wants to make more money, stop feeling so burnt out, have a little more freedom in your business while at the same time serving your clients to the highest level, make sure you tune in to the next episode with our guest speaker, because I know it's going to be a good one. I'll see you on the next episode.